This is Higher Maths, practice paper F, question 8 in the calculator paper. Right, the diagram shows the graphs of y equals 2 cosine 2x plus 3 and y equals 7 plus 5 cosine x. And the range is between 0 and 360 degrees. The two graphs intersect at t, which is the coordinates pq. Find the exact value of cosine p. Right, okay, so to find the points of intersection, let's let y equal y, or let both equations equal each other. Okay, so to find the point of intersection, what we'll do is just let y equal y. So the first thing that we're going to start with is this side here. So I've got 2 cosine 2x plus 3 is equal to 7 plus 5 cosine x. What I'll then do is I'll try and get all of this to equal 0, so I'll bring everything over onto the left hand side. So what I have is 2 cosine 2x, I'll bring that 5 cosine x over, so that'll be minus 5 cosine x. I'll bring the 7 over as well, so what that should give me when I bring that over, that will give me minus 4, and that equals 0. From there what I'll do is I'll look at my formula list and I'll get a replacement for cosine 2x, and the one that I'm looking at will be the one that has cosine in it alone. So let's have a look on the formula list and see which one that's going to be. So here we have the cosine 2a, so that one there just provides me with 2, it gives me a cosine and also a sine. This one gives me cosine on its own, so it's going to be that one. I'm not going to choose the sine because I want the cosine on its own so that I can form a trinomial and solve this equation. Right, so first of all I'm going to substitute into a bracket to make sure that I multiply through it by 2. So I've got 2 cosine squared x, and that's going to be minus 1. Then I've got the minus 5 cosine x minus 4 equals 0. Right, from there what I'm doing is I'm going to multiply this part out, so it's going to be 4 cosine squared x minus 2 minus 5 cosine x minus 4 equals 0. Gather up the numbers and then we'll go and factorise it. So 4 cosine squared x, I've got minus 5 cosine x, and that's going to give me minus 6 here. So I've got a trinomial, everything's in cosine, I've got a squared term, cosine on its own, and a numerical term there. So from there I'm just going to put it into two brackets. Okay, so what I've got here is I'll start with 4 cos x there, and that would just be cos x. I'll have for 6, I've got some options for 6. I've got 6 and 1, or I've got 3 and 2. I'm going to go with 3 and 2 in this order here. And what I'll have is that'll make 8, that'll make 3. So if that makes 8, that's going to be the negative. That 3 is going to be the positive. So that's the way I'm going to factorise it out from there. Okay, so from here, what I can say is, I can say that 4 cosine x plus 3 equals 0. So cosine x is going to be equal to, take the 3 over to the other side, minus 3 divided by the 4. So there's the first value I've got for cosine x. And the next thing I've got here is, let's see, we'll go for this one here. So I've got cosine x minus 2 equals 0. So cosine x equals 2, and from that side there, I know that there's no solution for that. Cosine x will only go up to 1 down to minus 1, so 2 is out with the range, doesn't touch the graph at all, no solution on that one there. So what I would state there is that the cosine x, or the x coordinate, so cosine p I'm going to state, so cosine p, that's what I've got to find out, is going to be equal to minus 3 over 4 on its own. And that's that part of the question complete. Right, let's move on to part B. We have to determine the value of p. Okay, right, so let's go ahead and we'll solve this part here. So what we'll do is we'll work out the acute angle first of all. because I know that if I look at a CAS table, cosine is negative. So if cosine is negative, it doesn't lie there or there, it's going to lie in here and in here. So that's in the second and in the third quadrant. So let's work the acute angle out first, and then we'll use that to work out the values that are in here. So the acute angle is going to be, so it's going to be P is equal to the inverse cosine of, and we're going to drop the minus sign and we're just going to put in 3 upon 4. From there, that will give me the value of 41.4 degrees. I'm going to use that to work out the quadrant 2 solution. So quadrant 2, what I have is for quadrant 2, P is going to be equal to 180. Remember in there, it's going to be minus the acute angle that we've worked out. And what we've got for that is 138.6 degrees. I'll then work out the quadrant 3 answer. Quadrant 3, remember that's just going to be 180 and it's plus the acute angle, so it'll be plus 41.4. So that there should give me an answer of 221.4 degrees. Right, so I've got two solutions here that I need to decide between on which one is the point P. Now I know that if I look back up at the diagram here, and half of that, this would be 180, that would be here. So if I draw a line through here, that's half of the 360, so that would be 180 degrees. So it looks as though it's over 180 degrees on that graph. And certainly it's the second intersection, point of intersection between 0 and 360. So I think P is going to be the largest of these two, so it's going to be 221.4. So what I'll do is just make a statement. I'll just say that P is a third quadrant angle. So therefore P is equal to 221.4 degrees. And what I could also say is that it's the second point of intersection in the range that we've been given, in the range 0, x, we'll just leave it as x, and that would be 360. So that's the question complete. Right, so what we've got here is we've got 6 marks for part A, and we've got 2 marks here for part B, so there's 8 marks in total. What I'll do is I'll get 1 mark first of all for letting y equals y. Okay, the two graphs equal to each other to try and solve the point of intersection. Get 1 mark for substituting in for cosine 2x, and what we'll do is I'll get 1 mark for rearranging that in trinomial form, ready to solve that. 1 mark for factorising out, and what I'll go for is I'll go for 1 mark for getting these two solutions here, and finally stating that cosine P is equal to minus 3 over 4. Right, so that's 6 marks so far, 2 more marks to be given. What I'll go for is I'll go for 1 mark for getting these two solutions, and finally stating that P is equal to 221.4 with a reason why you've selected that. Right, so this question here, out of 8 marks, and it's quite a good one.